In the golden dawn of time, long before borders divided us, a path was carved across deserts and mountains. It was not just a road, it was a lifeline, pulsing with the stories of empires, traders, and dreamers. This was the Silk Road. On weathered parchment, the Silk Road stretched like a vein across continents, from the imperial gates of China to the blue coasts of the Mediterranean. Every turn in its path whispered tales of ambition, risk, and connection. In Chang'an, the eastern terminus, the air buzzed with the clatter of looms and the murmur of merchants. It was here that silk, light as wind and precious as gold, began its westward journey, weaving China's legacy into foreign lands. Caravans formed lifelines across treacherous terrain. Traders wrapped in wool and determination braved the ice-clad passes, each step forward an act of faith in a promise waiting beyond the horizon. At Samarkand, the heart of Central Asia, cultures collided in harmony. The markets overflowed with colors, languages, and spices, a meeting place of worlds where stories were traded as much as goods. Beneath the shade of a lone fig tree, a Greek philosopher and a Buddhist monk exchanged thoughts and scrolls. Along this road, wisdom knew no walls, only open minds. Arabian traders, cloaked in flowing garments, brought perfumes, frankincense, and tales of distant lands. Their camels carried not just cargo, but centuries of knowledge and wonder. In a quiet Persian courtyard, a woman wove a masterpiece into a carpet, her threads capturing not only color, but the pulse of her people, their joy, their pain, their pride. A European traveler, wide-eyed and weary, documented every step. The Silk Road transformed him, its wonders imprinting more than just ink on parchment. Around desert campfires, strangers became companions. They laughed, prayed, argued, and sang. The Silk Road was not merely a highway of goods, it was the artery of humanity. The gates of Kashgar stood as ancient sentinels. Here, east met west, under the watchful eye of stone lions and silk banners. Inspections were strict, but stories still slipped through. A young boy watched the caravan fade into the golden dusk, dreams sparkling in his eyes. One day, he would walk that same path, chasing a legacy far greater than his village knew. In the Chinese imperial court, silk flowed like water, smooth, coveted, controlled. It was power, diplomacy, and elegance rolled into one shimmering thread. In the bustling ports of the Mediterranean, Roman hands cradled Eastern silks, marveling at their sheen. The road ended here, but the stories it carried spread like wildfire. Monks trudged mountain paths, bearing sacred texts. The road was a pilgrimage of faith as much as trade, turning barren trails into sacred corridors of thought. The desert was merciless. A single sandstorm could erase lives. Yet, every survivor carried with them a story carved in endurance, passed down in whispers. In a village untouched by time, an old woman clutched a foreign coin. To the children, it was magic. To her, it was a memory of a merchant who changed her world. Inside the caves of Dunhuang, vibrant murals glowed in torchlight. They told stories of gods, travelers, and demons, capturing the wild beauty of the road. A solitary poet scribbled under the stars. The road gave him not riches, but verses that echoed from one campfire to another, transcending time. At ancient harbors, silk met sea. Ships groaned under the weight of treasure, as sea captains charted new paths from echoes of camel bells. The caravanserais now crumble, but their ghosts remain. Each stone remembers, 1,000 footsteps, 1,000 dreams. Today, archaeologists dust off the silence. Coins, scrolls, and worn beads emerge, whispering from the sand. We were here. We mattered. The wind still dances through the abandoned routes. Sometimes, if you listen closely, you can hear the hooves, the bartering, the breathing of a forgotten empire. Modern travelers trace the old paths, guided by GPS, but moved by mystery. They walk not just for steps, but for echoes. Highways and bullet trains now mirror the ancient lines. The Silk Road lives again, not as dust, but as data, as dreams reimagined in motion. In museums, silk rests behind glass, quiet yet radiant. But if you lean in close enough, you may still hear the voices, the stories woven in every thread. The sun rises on old ruins, casting light on forgotten columns. These stones once held empires. Now they cradle memory. Caravans of shadows ride again in our minds, their journeys unfinished, their stories incomplete, waiting for us to listen. The map unfurls once more. Cities glow along its spine like stars. The Silk Road was never a road. It was a constellation of connection. And now, as the wind fades and the screen darkens, remember this: the Silk Road lives on in us, in every step we take to understand, to share, to wonder. Its whispers will never fade.